Hi, okay, so I'm making this video for any instructor, but I have a specific one in mind that's going to go ahead and teach our style of bar here for Manhattan, Kansas. There's tons of different ways to incorporate, but just the general guideline, each song has a emphasis. And then when the song ends, then you switch modalities, and we do that so that way the body doesn't kind of break down and that the class appears to be like kind of fun and it's not something that they're dying through. And you can always make it harder and you can make it easier based on kind of the moves that you give them and the way you direct their attention. So the challenge comes on you giving them more or backing down a little bit less. So feel free to kind of play with that. The first song, I am recording my phone, so I can't play music and use my phone at the same time, so I'm sorry. But they'll be making a playlist is some of the best parts. And then just kind of running through it at home, or you can run through it with a friend or me for sure. So the first bit is song number 1 would be dynamic stretching. So people come in cold, they haven't been working out, and so what my dynamic stretching kind of looks like is I kind of first start by like rolling the shoulders back and trying to get people to stand up tall because everybody's kind of forward facing. So rolling the shoulders back, I'll roll them forward, I'll open my chest and bring them back. You could do one at a time. You could do them forward. Reversing is always kind of nice. I can bring my hands up and I can lean forward and round. You can just roll down. I do windmills. I do up and I reach and I do side bends and holding. You can turn sideways and stretch down your leg. And another popular one is take your feet apart and bend and straighten. And then I also walk on my calves, kind of like downward dog like this, pushing them down. You can have them adjust their ankles and rolling up. But seriously, just kind of let it flow. It's super, just opening and pulling everything nice and long. Song number 2 is a no impact cardio. So we don't jump. You can jump based on whoever's in your class, but I always kind of try to sell it as like we don't have to put a lot of impact on our joints, and that seems to be really attractive for people because bodies can only handle so much. So my no impact cardio, that's pretty standard, but I'm working on changing it up because I personally am bored with it. But I'll do marching, so I'll have them roll their shoulders back and hold. Other arm positions are here, here, or maybe even up. But I have them tread, so I have them march for 16. Then I have them do calf raises. I've been adding in stepping to the side. It feels a little Jane Fonda era, but they totally get into it too. Then sometimes I'll add the step behind. You can also do grapevines. I have not done that yet, just because we have so many rotating. Then I do dégagés, which I call them soccer kicks. I feel like for the common people, this seems really like relatable, like you're kicking the side of a soccer ball. Then I do high knees, and then I do straight leg kicks, or they're reaching. So again, this is where you can make it as hard or as easy. So I'll tell them to reach high, and I'll tell them not to curl. I'll tell them to lift up tall, take the hands up, and you can change that. And again, you can always change hand positions. Then I do standing crunches. So I reach and I pull, I reach and I pull. The second time through, I usually do straight leg crunches. So the first time through, I have them crunches twisting. Next, or straight leg twisting. And then I have them repeat it back to marching. So that's what I like to do. Song number 3 is the plie series. If you're holding onto the bar, you can tuck and sit back. When I first meet people, I explain that the idea isn't to squat, but more so to sit back so that the spine stays as long as possible and without different angles. I also state that when you rotate out, no matter what, you're not just moving your feet, but you're squeezing your butt to power. And just being really comfortable and knowing that people are very vulnerable and know they want to learn. So being kind when you're correcting, and like if you see somebody, just like general statements really help me. Hey, everybody lift your chin, everybody open your chest, everybody pull your belly button in, and then the person is like, oh, I didn't even know. That works really good, but they do like to be adjusted just nicely. Always soft touches, and it's nice to ask before you touch, just to make sure. So I always do rotating out for 8. I hold for 8, or I hold for like a couple counts, and then I go down and up for 8, plie, plie. And then I do 1 heel up, plie, and then I switch, plie. When I alternate, I go up into releve. I request they bring their heels together and down just for control. It gives them something to challenge themselves. The other thing is people lean forward, so I'll be like, make sure you're using your glutes and sitting back a little bit. And then I have them do straight legs or releve, and I'll say straight legs again so that I'm blending the commonalities, and then I'll have them hold it up and plie. And again, encouraging them to sit back and not to balance forward. Then I have them pulse, and then I have them either hold, I do butterflies, I cue the shoulders, you can have them alternate, that is totally up to you, just another challenging move at the end, and have them slide down, straighten ankles, knees, feet, reach up, and have them roll forward and bring themselves up, and then we switch directions. We do the same thing. I challenge them to not hold onto the bar, but to definitely hold onto the bar for safety. Then we do a plank song that is inchworms, is a really good classic one, where they roll down and they can walk their hands out 1, 2, 3, 4. I often have people check their planks first, and then they walk their feet in 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they walk their feet back 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they walk their hands back 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that goes on the duration of the song, slower, faster, or you can do plank stuff where you're touching your feet, mountain climbers, any plank variations ever, but they last a song. And feel free to ask questions or look up things, but this is fun in the creative process so we're not stuck in a mundane, boring repetition of things. Then the next one is the plie series and second position. So I was having a little bit past hips, not too far. People are erroring, they tend to like correct because it's unstable. And so you can advise them, but then you don't have to embarrass anybody. And you won't embarrass anybody because you're a good person, but if you call them out in front of a lot of people, your feet are too wide, then they're like, oh. But yeah, again, have fun with it. Like make it yours and feel comfortable talking to them. So same thing, out and in, hold plie, 1 heel up. You're gonna alternate and switch, other heel up, and then you'll go with the full alternating, and then straight legs again. You'll hold it up and plie. Then you're gonna pulse, and then you're gonna hold and or do ankles. And then they reach up, straighten the heels, straighten feet, forward, roll yourself up, face the other direction. The next one is mat work on the floor. I usually do belly up. If you need help with mat work or core work, it can be anything. It can be setups, it can be crunches, if that's your jam. I do Pilates core work, and so like if you have questions about that, Blogilates is a good resource, but ask me questions. The next one, so we stand back up again. And I've been doing where I put 1 heel in an arch, and I pick a song, and I sit back, I pull my shoulders back. I do hold on for this, and then again, the challenge is to come up or change arm positions, but I go down together, have them tuck down together for 8, then I have them pulse, then I have them hold, and then I have them dip, and then lift up to releve, to their tiptoes, down, up, and then I have them step their heels down and bring them up. A lot of times they'll come apart, I cue them to squeeze it in together. And then to switch, instead of turning around, I have them bring the other foot in front. And again, for a reminder, it goes down, up, pulse, hold, dip, lift, and then just releve, squeezing in the middle. And tucking the pelvis and pulling the shoulders back, all the things. Then we use bricks. There's yoga bricks back there. It is safer to do it on the floor, but the reason why we use the bricks is because when you're on the floor, you're more likely to hit your foot, so people will tip, and we want their pelvis to stay as neutral as possible so they don't. So the bricks give them the height. This one's the easiest one ever. Again, cueing to hold on, but then eventually releasing, where they go 8 forward. I'll face this way so I don't kick anything. Where they go 8 forward, and I'll cue them to go as high as they can, and then 8 back. And I make sure that this leg isn't locked out, where they go back, shoulders back, belly button, and all the things. They go 4 forward, 4 back, 2 forward, 2 back, and then back and forth for 8. And we do each side 2 times. So I face, 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 face. We do the next drill the same way, but instead of going forward and backwards, it's lateral to the side. So the other thing I tell people, when people start, they often will lift more so from their hip flexor, and I say there's less muscle here than there is here, so you're going to squeeze back here. So when they go to the side, you want them to squeeze back a little bit. Everybody's hips, butts, everything are different sizes, so you're cueing that they feel this, and knowing that they're working the standing leg the most. So the lateral version would be to go out for 8, and then circles, same thing with arms, and then reverse circles, and then pulse, and then hold, and I have reach, and then I have them lean forward, and then you can always add on. But in general, that's a good short, and I have them switch twice. If I add on more, I have them do one side one time, the other side just extended. Then the next one is open arms. We're almost done. So open arms is where you can hang the T-Rex. If you want a closed chain with weights, you can have them do push-ups. I don't know if they'll love you or not, but I have them do their arms up, I have them do arm circles, rolling shoulder shrugs, I have them squeeze, I have them close, I have them lift, have them rotate, all sorts of things to work nice, strong, sexy shoulders and arms. Oh, and then usually in the songs I'll have a bend and then push back and then open back. And then the last one is the butt on the bar. Hi there. So the video cut off right around the butt thing, which is perfect. I was able to clear it up. So anyways, you are almost done with your class. The butt on the bar, I'll take my hands, I'll sit my weight back. What I don't want people to do is lean forward and push their knees forward. They're gonna tap and lift. The movement is so darn tiny. Almost they could even float their hand. It's so tiny to where they don't throw themselves over. My job and your job as a trainer is to watch that their pelvis is stay square. The order's on the paper, so feel free to ask questions. If there's extra time, I'll go down and I'll do back extension works like swan, where they're on their belly and they open their chest, or any variations really to where they're opening back up again with their belly button nice and stable. Then you'll finish with some stretching. You could do it on the ground, but I won't tell you exactly how to do it, but I want it to be yours. I want you to feel good about it, and it keeps the class fun and interesting. So thank you so much for being an important part here of what we do, and just know that the best part about being a trainer is you can be creative and you're helping people, and so own your power, and please ask questions, and thank you so much.